What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and in this video, I'd like to talk about Bitcoin and gold. Yes, we're going to compare Bitcoin to gold, look at the charts, and see if we can't come up with some rationality behind why the bull market is just about to begin. We're seeing the same signs that we do every single cycle. If that sounds good to you, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's get into it, okay? I'm sure a lot of you are aware that gold's taken a little bit of a bath today. Bitcoin is actually on the up and up. We're going to look at the ribbons first, okay? And then we're going to move into the price action here, okay? But first off, I want to look at the ribbons. I want to look at the monthly time frame here because as you can see, with every, and this is every cycle, right? This is the monthly time frame. Each one of these candles is 1 month. So this dates back all the way to 2009. This is Bitcoin priced in gold. As you can see here, let's actually just delete all these things real quick. As you can see here, this looks very similar, damn near identical to what Bitcoin does versus the US dollar too. We even have the double top. Everything versus the dollar seems pretty accurately represented here in this chart, other than what we're doing right now, right? Gold has been taking off and Bitcoin has kind of been stagnant this year in comparison to gold, right? If we put our ribbons back on here, our MA exponential ribbons here, for those of you that don't know what the ribbons are, it's the EMAs from the 20 to the 55 in increments of 5, okay? If you notice, we go through phases. We go through bear markets and bull markets with the ribbon, but the ribbon is always on top, right? The monthly ribbon here, this shows that on a month-to-month basis, Bitcoin is clearly in a dominant position versus gold, always. Even in times like this, even where the last 3 months in a row, we've actually seen a deficit compared to gold in growth. Overall, we're still very bullish versus gold, right? Bear markets, we find our lows beneath this level. Bear markets, we find our lows beneath this level. Bear markets, we find our lows beneath this level. And then we top off after we've expanded, after our ribbons really start to expand away from each other, right? They're contracted here. They start to expand. The price is getting away from the ribbon. Boom, all-time high achieved. We're contracted. We found our lows below the ribbon. We're very contracted. And then here, the ribbon starts to expand. We're very far away from the ribbon. Boom, the all-time high is in. The bull market's over. We find support below the ribbon. It's the end of the bear market. We're contracted. We haven't expanded yet, have we? We haven't seen any expansion. We haven't seen a top where Bitcoin is largely away from the ribbon here. We haven't seen that happen. And typically, let's just see here real quick. Let's just have fun with this idea. Okay, the ribbon didn't really exist back here, but let's pretend that we started to expand more or less right here, right? Like at this point in time, we started to expand. We had 11 months of bull market left. Okay, that's a rough analysis, whatever. Maybe that's real, maybe that's not real. I don't care, whatever. We're going to put it in there. You're contracted here, contracted here. You really started to expand, I would say, about right here. You can see it starting to expand. You're very contracted. You definitely turned the beat around right here, but I'd say you started to expand probably right around here. And if you don't like that, maybe here even. But let's just do it right here. Something right around there. That was, again, that's about 13 months right there. Okay, 13 months of bull market. Here, I think it's very obvious as to where we expanded. It was right here. That's when we started to expand. That was 6 months of bull market. And arguably, right, we topped off here 12 months later, 6 months, but 12 months still. That's actually pretty close to what we've seen historically speaking, right? We got jibbed on this last move up. We should have seen, it shouldn't have been a double top. It should have been a blow off top, but there was all kinds of economic hardships going on in the world, you guys. High inflation. We're dealing with the aftermath of COVID. We had quantitative tightening with the Federal Reserve and monetary policies across the world. Just ridiculous. The dollar is gaining strength. All kinds of things, right? But again, still in the same kind of time frame as far as where the cycle top is, okay? And here we are now, contracted, right? We've expanded a little bit, but we haven't really gotten away. We're still in this contracted zone. I don't think it's any far stretch of the imagination to assume that the Bitcoin bull market here, it was 6 months, right, from that time frame, right? We've seen 13 months, we've seen 11 months, 6 months. I don't think it's any far stretch of the imagination to assume that this bull market will at least continue for Bitcoin into April of 2026, assuming that we start to get some separation here, that we start to, what's the word I'm looking for, to expand here. You know, if we measured from this point here, when we started to expand, let's just see. Hey, look at that. That's actually a good point right there to mark the cycle high, isn't it? Right there. So we started to expand here, and 11 months later, we found the top. I mean, maybe that's why Bitcoin's so stagnant. Maybe it was waiting for a little bit of a mini bear market versus gold, in which we might have that now. But I don't think that this counts. I don't think that this is the same thing as what we've seen before, right? We haven't seen new all-time highs. Overall, I'm anticipating that Bitcoin will continue to grow versus gold. Okay, and if we go back to the prior cycles, we take off the time analysis, we put on the fib analysis here, from a high to a low, we went all the way up above the 2272 here, that cycle. From a high here to a low this cycle, we went all the way up above the 1414, okay? We've at least seen extensions in every single cycle that Bitcoin's had versus gold. From a high to a low here, we're nowhere near the 1414, we're nowhere near the 2272. So there's going to be some immense growth, some immense expansion. Again, we haven't seen the ribbon really expand like it has in other cycles yet. And going into that end of cycle phase, you know, this chart, if anything, to me, it actually builds out a case for why the bull market might continue into like mid or even late 2026. I think we could see early to mid 2026, but mid to late, that's kind of crazy. That'd be really crazy to see. Overall, Bitcoin versus gold here, we can see we're having a positive reaction right now, having a bit of a double bottom, aren't we, from April's lows in 2025 to the lows that we're at now. Very positive reaction, the very same reaction we had last time. And this is in part because gold is dropping, but also Bitcoin's moving up today. RSI is oversold, the most oversold that it's been since this time back here in February. We actually promoted more decay. Could this promote the idea of more dropping to come? Right? Typically, when you get this low in the RSI, you do see lower lows so that you can build some bullish divergence before you turn the boat around. Or is this a double bottom? It's true to its word, and we're going to just V-shape recovery out of here. Bullish divergence on the stochastics. No bullish divergence on the MACD or the RSI. We look at the weekly time frame here, and you're bouncing right off the oversold zone, the same area that you bounced right off of when we found our low the time before. Bouncing right off this oversold zone has actually been very beneficial for Bitcoin, typically whenever it's compared to gold. And if we see this over here, when you bounced off of the oversold zone, that was the COVID crash. We grew consistently for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks, and then we stagnated. 8 weeks, that's 2 months, and then we stagnated. When we bounced off of this oversold zone here, we grew for about 3 weeks, and then we stagnated. When we bounced off of this oversold zone here, we grew for a lot longer than 3 weeks. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, and then we corrected. We continue to grow, really, but I would say 6 weeks. 6 weeks, 3 weeks, 8 weeks. You get the point, right? Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 5 weeks, 3 weeks. We've got weeks, if not months, of growth to come versus gold. And we are on the precipice right now of breaking out of this overall range. We haven't seen the all-time highs come in yet, but we're very clearly encroaching this area, right? We've got this very clear path higher. Okay. And when we break out, let's just see how we've done this every single cycle so far. Let's just see. When we broke this all-time high, what did we do? Did we stop as soon as we broke it? Hell no, we went a lot higher. When we broke this all-time high, did we stop as soon as we broke it? Hell, I guess, actually, to be fair, yes. Yes, we did. Yes, we did right there. But we were in the process of going a lot higher nonetheless, okay? Whenever we broke this all-time high, we broke it, we back-tested for support, and then we continued to rally, right? Similar to what we did here, just a little bit offset in the same comparison. So the idea here is that while, yes, we might have found a little turbulence after breaking out of new all-time highs here, I think that the next attempt above this line, whenever we break above it, we're likely going to continue, okay? Here you broke out, you back-tested, you continued. Here you broke out, you fumbled for a second, and then you continued, right? That second attempt, whenever we do break above it, will continue. It will likely be the mark of continuation here, where we do see Bitcoin really start to overpower gold, okay? I know a lot of people are looking at this chart and they're thinking, we've broken the trend, but dude, that's not how you do analysis. That's not how you do analysis, right? Here, we broke the trend, right? And look at what happened, right? Here, we broke the trend, and look at what happened. That was the low point, right? Right? It's nothing considerable at all. Other than that, though, I don't really think I have anything else that I want to say. I think that Bitcoin is about to start seeing growth versus gold at an unprecedented rate that we haven't seen before. I want to look at the weekly ribbon here. We look at the weekly ribbon, and we have not even crossed bearish yet. We are very contracted. Man, we are about to see this thing launch, because this ribbon, to flip it red, this would imply then that if we get a bearish cross here, that would imply that Bitcoin's going to continue to drop. And maybe that happens, but then gold would have to continue to grow. Bitcoin would have to not grow or grow at a lesser pace than gold. I just don't see that happening, guys, right? You know, typically whenever you get the weekly ribbon across, that's the marks of a bear market. And I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think we're in a bear market for all the reasons we've talked about already. We're going to see this thing get above the ribbon here, probably over the next couple of weeks, because again, in 2 or 3 weeks, this ribbon's going to cross bearish. So by the end of October, let alone the end of November, we should see Bitcoin gain some serious ground versus gold. Whether that means Bitcoin's moving up and gold are moving up at the same time, but Bitcoin outperforms it, great. Whether that means gold's moving down and Bitcoin's moving up at the same time, whatever, however it works out. But it looks like we're going to see a massive snap back to this area is what we're going to see. We're going to see Bitcoin gain 15% versus gold, maybe by the end of this week, if not next week. I actually want to look. Let's look at gold real quick. Let's just look at it here. Super strong. Yeah, gold, by the way, guys, gold is not at its all-time high. I mean, like, yes, you saw your all-time high there, but it's going to keep growing, right? You don't get readings like this. We're on the weekly time frame, right? Here, you had a very deep reading. Was that your high? It was a relevant high, but like 2 or 3 months later, you continue to grow, right? And then you had your high that consolidated for more. All I'm trying to say is here you might consolidate for a couple of months, but I think gold will continue to rally. If anybody thinks this is the end of the cycle for gold, I think that you're wrong. I think gold probably takes its turn, and then while it's doing this, Bitcoin probably rallies, right? And then gold will start to rally, and then Bitcoin will take a back seat, right? We're probably going to see that kind of dynamic come into play here over the coming months. I really wouldn't be surprised at all. Very bullish though overall, but of course you're super hot, you're going to cool down. How many times when you find a peak here in gold did you find support in the overbought zone? You didn't. You found support here at the overbought zone or at the 50 or at the 60, right? You don't find support here. So gold will likely come down. Bitcoin is more primed to move up over the coming days and weeks. Every single FOMC meeting that we've had this year in 2025, Bitcoin has moved up into that meeting. We have a meeting on the 29th here. So Bitcoin will likely grow not just for 1 week, not just for 2 weeks, but what we've seen comparing Bitcoin to gold, we've seen in moments like this 3 weeks to 8 weeks of growth. We've probably got some consistent growth for Bitcoin over the coming month, if not months, going into the end of November. That'd be my expectation. So I don't have anything else that I want to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. I feel like the evidence is clear. We are going to move higher. Gold is going to take a back seat, and those funds will probably rotate into crypto. Absolutely, they will. I think we're going to see the dynamic play out. A lot of people, myself included, expect Bitcoin to pump, and then it chills, and then altcoins pump, right? And then altcoins pump, and then they chill, and then Bitcoin pumps. We go in a little rotation like that. I think we're about to see a rotation, and everybody expects this rotation from gold to Bitcoin to happen. But what I think most people are missing is that gold is not done. So gold right now is taking a break. Funds will rotate from that market into the crypto markets, into Bitcoin, probably specifically, or Ethereum. And then once crypto runs, we're going to see gold take a back seat. And then whenever crypto starts to consolidate, I bet we see gold take another stab higher. So anybody who's paying attention, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but over the coming weeks and over the coming months, that might be a good kind of rotation to incorporate. A lot of people think rotate from blue chip cryptos into altcoins, and that works out historically. It hasn't worked out this cycle yet, but it will soon enough. But I think if you want a safe bet, rotating capital from top market cap cryptos into gold and then cycling between those two as they're phasing up, that actually might be really beneficial, because I don't know how much further gold will grow in this cycle of growth that it has right now in this expansive phase. I just believe right now we're going to see a multi-week, if not a multi-month consolidation for gold right now, and it will likely continue to grow past this. It's likely not done here. There's more to be had. And in that growth that is more to be had, I wouldn't be surprised if while it's growing, that's when Bitcoin and crypto takes a back seat and consolidates. I bet we see a little rotation there. So that's just a thought, a theory. We'll see how that plays out. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.